to Talking Junk. Talking Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Welcome to Talking Junk. I am your host, as always, Jason Melendez, here with my co-host today, Macho. And last week, fellas, we spoke about anger as a fire alarm. And if y'all don't know, we're talking about my book Ongoing. So this is what we're going to do, all right? Because anger isn't the enemy. It's the messenger. It's the smoke detector screaming that something deep down is burning. And tonight, we're opening the front door. We're stepping into the smoky house because your mind isn't broken. It's just cluttered. It's a hoarder's den, a hoarder's apartment. And tonight, we'll walk through the emotional apartment we've all been living in without a lease.
That's right. And if you ever tried to clean a real hoarder's den, you know one thing. You don't do it in one night, and you do it together.
And to help us on this tour, we're looking at the new Thunderbolts movie because in that film, the real villain isn't a CGI monster. The real antagonist is internal. It's trauma. It's shame. It's depression. The superhero genre is maturing and is showing us the greatest battles are the ones we fight inside ourselves. And that's the same blueprint I wrote about in Shut the Junk Up. Our minds aren't broken. They're just cluttered with old wounds, old patterns, and old junk. So let's build the metaphor. Picture your mind as a physical space, an apartment, a house. What does it look like? Big, small, windows, clear, or covered? Maybe in grime. This is the space you live in every day. Most of us didn't build this space. We inherited it. The foundation was already cracked. The wiring was already faulty. That's what ACEs are. Adverse childhood experiences. They shape the architect for your mind. A cracked foundation might be a belief that you can't trust. A faulty wiring, the faulty wiring might be anxiety that sparks the slightest trigger. A broken front door lock might be weak. Boundaries might be broken. We inherit
broken.
Huh? The broken front door lock might be weak boundaries. Mm-hmm. We inherit this structure. Then we start filling it with our own junk. That's core Shut the Junk Up. You don't choose your foundation. You do choose how much junk you let pile up inside.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even notice the pile. The pile just going up and up and up. One compromise here, one late night spiral there, and another, and the boom, you can't even see the floor. You're gonna hit the floor like that. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, sometimes the clutter is manageable, but sometimes it's not just one messy room. It's the entire apartment. The air gets heavy, the curtains stay drawn, dust settles on everything, and you find yourself sitting in the dark. That crushing weight, that paralysis, that's depression. It's the air in the apartment itself. And that's Bob Reynolds, the Sentry in the Thunderbolts. The void isn't just a villain. He fights. The void is depression, his trauma, his suicidal ideation, his shame, all personified as the monster living in his head. The film shows the roots, abusive childhood, substance use, real-world pathways that crack the foundation and leave the door open for lifelong struggles. Bob's apartment isn't just cluttered, it's decaying, and he's alone in the dark, and he's terrified of the shadows.
If you ever felt that, you know it, like the darkness has weight, like the room is bigger than you.
Yeah, which is why in the movie, everything feels heavy from the beginning of it. Everything feels gloomy as much as they're trying to portray it as comedic. And I want you to hear this. You didn't build your apartment either. You inherited it. A lot of that wiring and those locks, but you don't have to live in the dark. Let's tour the rooms real quick. The scariest room, the locked one, the padlock is rusted. You never go in there. In the Thunderbolts, they call it the shame room. It's a memory trap, a psychic space where Bob confronts his deepest guilt and regret. That's trauma work. That's exposure to pain memory. You can't heal the room until you're willing to stand in it. Turn the key, open the door, see what's really there. Not the monster you imagine, the memory itself. It's also that's also key, shut the junk up. Open the closet, turn on the light. You don't have to clean it today, but you do have to stop pretending the door isn't there.
And a quick safety note for you guys. If this is too heavy for you, it's okay to just stand at the doorway. You don't have to walk in tonight. Stay where it's safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You could just look in, right?
Yeah.
We go at the speed of safety. Now the hallway, right? The bursting trash bag. That's John Walker. For him, the trash is rage. It spills out. It stinks. But rage is a shield, a coping mechanism. Underneath is shame, inadequacy, moral injury. Moral injury is the wound for violating your own moral code. For Walker, it's killing a man in public. It shattered his self-image as a hero. So when he's challenged, when he feels disrespected, that wound gets poked. His self-worth is tied to status and control. Lose these, and his identity collapses. Rage becomes the desperate attempt to feel powerful. When he feels powerless, that trash I write about and shut the junk up, the emotional junk that stinks up the place, that's what it is until you finally face it. Now, Mach, before we move on, let me ask you a question. How many times in your life, right, did the anger in your fucking world become so adverse you didn't know what to do?
How many times?
How many times? Too many to count, right?
Yeah, too many to count, man. It's overwhelming. It's like almost overstimulating, if you want to say. It's been a while. So like, and facing it isn't about yelling louder. It's about shutting up, listening, and that that's his growth. Let's go to let's go to control, pick up humility, and understand what humbleness is.
Word. All right, but next, real quick, right, is the furniture. It looks normal, but it hides the mess, right?
Yeah.
That's Elena. Her armor, sarcasm, alcohol, stoicism, not just armor, but camouflage for depression. Losing Natasha didn't just leave a scar, it left a void. What comes next? That's not about a mission. That's about meaning, purpose, identity. Depression isn't always sadness, it's emptiness. Her apartment has a huge empty room in the center. The echo is deafening, so she fills it with noise, drinks, fights, jokes, anything to avoid the silence. That's in my book too. Sometimes the heaviest junk is invisible, the void itself. Her healing starts when she stops trying to stuff the emptiness and chooses to sit with someone else in theirs. Her empathy for Bob becomes her path back to vulnerability.
And that's a blueprint for all of us. If you can't face your own silence, sit with someone in theirs. Connection turns the lights back on. And I think connection, you need connection. That's what you need.
But that's what we're doing here, right? Every week.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't been recently every week. We might even go to every 2 weeks, but we're going to continue to be here as much as possible because community is connection. And in October, come and see me in Longwood, Florida at the Solutions Summit for Aces Matter. We are going to be a community of professionals speaking on all walks of life there, all aces, anger, and anything else you can think of. So come and join us that day. But we digress because this episode is fucking jam-packed with knowledge, bro. And we cannot forget Bucky Barnes because his apartment, it's not spotless, but it is managed. His PTSD isn't gone. The scars and the memories remain. The junk from his Winter Soldier days is still there, but it's sorted, boxed, labeled, stored. The room still exists, The boxes still exist. Recovery is the daily work of keeping those boxes closed, checking the locks, patching the walls. That's sorted junk, not erased, managed. And that quiet maintenance is its own superpower.
And if you got boxes like that, remember you don't have to open them all tonight. You just have to keep the system in place. That counts. You know what I'm saying?
Step back with me. We've toured the apartments, the shame rooms, bursting trash bags, empty spaces, scarred walls. What does Thunderbolts teach us? Healing happens in community. At first, everyone tries to handle their junk alone. Bob isolates, Walker lashes out, Yelena numbs, Bucky endures in silence. The turning point is when they stop hiding the mess and start showing up for each other. That's why I named my book Shut the Junk Up, because speaking our junk out loud shows us something crucial. We're not only I fucked myself up, right?
Yeah.
Try to be professional, right? Reading off of a script, mess my thumbs out. It is what it is.
It's all right, bro. If you watch the emotional labor piece in the film, Elena carries too much of it. That happens in real life too. If you're always the
crazy.
cleaner, if you're always the cleaner for everyone else, who's gonna help you? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Share the load. Build a team. Your takeaway tonight, think of one memory you avoid. Not the biggest one, not the whole master suite of trauma, just one small shame closet. If this feels heavy, stand at the doorway, turn on the light. Look at the memory with self-compassion. Be your own Yelena. Say to that part of you, I see you. I know you're hurting. I'm not leaving you in the dark anymore. That's how cleaning begins.
And remember, people, cleaning is a process, not a one night move out. Nobody want to move out in one night. Go slow, go steady, and go together.
Make sure you go together because, like we said in the episode, community is key. You need to be able to not only share the load, but take the load off of somebody else. That's why we started the break room. And although the break room isn't what it used to be, we still got the private chat. We still keep up with each other most of the times. It became a community for us to dive ourselves into because we all needed the shit.
Yeah.
Like always, right? We have a guest, but tonight we have two of them, which we're going to try to keep the norm going. If we can't, at least we'll have one guest tonight. In the beginning of all these episodes, it's just going to be me and Macho. We're going to be talking about the book. We're going to be diving into some crucial shit, into anger. And next week, we won't be so quick to rush the info. We ran a little bit late tonight. Technical difficulties as always, because if you watch this show, you know we are no stranger to fucking technical difficulties. But with that being said, as we wait for our lovely guests, we are going to go to a quick commercial break.
Oh, that's fine.
Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now.
Come to the Shut the Junk Up Festival with spoken word artists, motivational speakers, and comedians.
Your ticket includes a delicious 3-course catered meal and a full night of carefully curated acts.
After the performances, the venue transforms into an exclusive after party for our VIP guests.
So don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind event. Get your tickets now.
That's right. Tickets are on sale right now at eventbrite.com. We are trying to throw this spoken word / stand-up comedy / mental health speaking gala of sorts. It's going to be a festival. It's going to be a 2-day thing. We're going to partner up with the venue. The next day will be some crazy shit. We can't speak on it yet because that event is not mine. But the first event you just heard of, totally is. All right. We already have 3 wonderful speakers who will speak on adverse childhood experiences, dementia in the elderly, and of course, the topic of tonight and many nights to come, anger. We want to make this an ongoing thing. So make sure you get your friends. It is going to be in Enfield, Connecticut. So anybody in the tri-state area, go to eventbrite.com for February 21st, 2026. Get your tickets. Your tickets are on sale right now. There is an early bird special. You get, I believe, 15 to 20% off your tickets. It is worth it right now because once that special is over, it is not coming back. Once that price goes up, it doesn't come back down, but you are going to want to be there. 3-course meal, like they said. Come looking your best. Learn, feel, laugh in a community. Because our biggest thing for my event, I want to let you guys know that therapy doesn't have to be in a stuffy ass fucking room. You don't got to sit there with some old dickhead or some woman that may or may not be interested in exactly what you're saying, because who knows how much their caseload is. You know what I mean? Everybody starts to get jumbled together. Everybody becomes one fucking big patient zero.
Yeah.
Come to a community event where you speak about everything. Mach, how was your week, bro?
My week is pretty well. Just doing a little bit of studying, hanging out with the kids, being a dad, normal things. Trying to get more involved with you, help you with your journey here, your goals, how to see it come to life.
It's going to be our journey, man, because honestly, you've been with the podcast for what, 3 years already?
Yeah, 3 years in November. I've been with Break, probably longer, and I know it was right before Thanksgiving, so we were around that time.
The biggest thing, like I want to dive into this mental health stuff because that's where I'm at. I got the certifications.
Yeah.
I'm taking the time to try to make it a profession, but I don't want the podcast to be stuffy. We're here. We're going to keep talking as much junk as we can. Yes, for the constructed professional stuff, we are scripted now because we need to get this stuff out properly. All right?
And quick.
And quick. So not all the time. Tonight, we had to get it out quick. We're still waiting for the first guest, right? And
you muted your mic.
How the fuck did that happen? See what I mean?
Big ass
We've been talking about, we've been talking about facing the junk in our mental apartments. And our first guest tonight, she's built a community around cleaning out one of the most difficult rooms imaginable.
And she's the host of Bite by Bite podcast, a space dedicated to sharing stories, strategies for eating disorder recovery. She's a powerful voice for turning shame into strength.
Now that's interesting because me myself, I don't really know too much about eating disorders. Just what you see in mainstream media, putting their fingers down their throats, making themselves seem like they want to eat, but they don't want to ingest. You know what I mean? They get the taste on their palate, and if they do try to ingest, they throw it up because they don't want the calories. I could be wrong, but that's exactly why we are having Kaitlyn on as a guest tonight. What do you know about eating disorders?
Talk about me?
Yeah.
What I know about this, I might have one. I'm be eating like crazy. Nah, but I don't know too much about this. I probably know the common these eating disorders, which is like bulimia and
Anorexia, I believe.
anorexia, and there's a I don't want to speak on it because I don't know too much about eating disorders like that. I would say some foods are highly, highly addictive due to processed things in them. That's probably I would have to we'll have to talk to our guest about that some more too. Maybe she'll get my mind going because I do know a little bit.
Nah, I'm hoping to know a little bit more. But while we wait on her, what was your takeaways from the Thunderbolts? Because I know when I first seen that movie, I knew
Well,
the themes in it were fucking. They weren't like a regular comic book movie. They got deep into the aspects of everybody's feelings from the years that just passed in the MCU.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, with the last maybe four superhero movies, I would say that's the number one. Because I've seen that one. I saw the Fantastic Four, and I also saw the new Superman. That's DC, but still, those movies were nothing compared to Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was amazing. The way they did express their feelings and what they were going through, and I love the movie. It was full of everything that you need in a movie, especially a superhero movie. Um, I think my take on it was very well put together. It was very well put together.
Very well put together. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the guy that's doing that did the Thunderbolts is going to do the new X-Men movie.
I want to see how that comes out, man. I do.
I'm a little skeptical, man, because yes, they're gonna kill off the old X-Men universe now in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, but
Yeah.
now you have to recast the X-Men for a third time because they didn't do bad recasting them for the younger movies that they tried
Like
to
the
put.
first class kind of ones.
Yeah,
Like
the
those are pretty
prequels.
good. Yeah, those are pretty good. But I think that sometimes certain things need to be kept alone. But let's see what happens. Maybe
You can't,
because
bro. You have
to
to
me,
reboot it. At this point, you have to reboot everything.
yeah, you have to reboot it because they are doing the multiverse thing or all that. So they have to. I understand that. But I hope that Avengers Doomsday it's a lot better than the Fantastic Four movie. Because it was
What didn't you like about the Fantastic Four?
all right. For all these years they make movies, they never ever go by the comic book completely. And that's what they did in this movie. They went back to like 1950,
They
1960.
didn't go back to 19 nothing.
It was placed in the old. What you mean?
The world was a retro world. So they didn't go back in time. The world itself was a retro world. It was a 1960s retro world. But they had technology from the future. The whole point
Obviously,
was
yeah.
to get you to see that a world with Reed Richards could still live in 60s simplicity and have all the futuristic tech it needed because he's the smartest man in the universe.
Man, you picked it better than me, bro. Because I just looked at some man, I want to see this old ass shit. Man. But it was it the thing was they excited me because in my mind I thought we will see Doctor Doom eventually, like a little bit more, maybe 10,
I mean, you
15
did.
minutes.
You
saw
see them
it for
inside
like
the movie?
it was like for like 10 seconds.
And they kind of put a little bit of a teaser there when they put the empty seat for Latveria.
Yeah. It was good. I really it was okay movie. I didn't fall asleep on it, so I know it was good. So I stood up through the whole movie and I was like, okay, all right, this is a good buffing, so they could just kickstart the Marvel universe and go straight into Doomsday, which I'm looking forward to seeing. What you think about that movie?
No, they're gonna lose in Doomsday.
Yeah,
They
I
have
hope
to.
they do.
They have to
Listen,
lose so he can make Battle World.
I hope they do because I've always been a hater to the Fantastic Four. I don't like. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan. Never have been. Not even when I was a kid. As a,
I don't know why Fantastic Four is not too bad, bro.
they're not too fantastic.
That's fucked up.
But I'm not saying that the movie was bad. The movie was pretty good. To me, it was better than the new Superman. I say that. To me, it was. It was better than Superman. Sorry, I got a couple friends that disagree with me, but it wasn't that Superman wasn't a bad watch. It was that you would think that I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see it?
Did I see Superman? Of course I seen it.
Okay. What wasn't with me was that Superman was already 3 years in, about 3 years in, and he didn't know. He just didn't know how to use his powers or his abilities. Like he seemed like an inexperienced Superman to
But
be an
that's the
experienced
point.
Superman.
He was supposed to be like that.
Yeah, but all right, if you watch Man of Steel, it made sense because he was just still learning, and he fights this guy that was learning as he was going as well. And it was just good, like going back and forth.
Yeah, but what I didn't like about Man of Steel is that they wanted me to fucking believe that a 40-year-old Superman was just learning how to be him.
Did he play a foot? I think he played a younger Superman. He was like 28. He wasn't playing a 40-year-old
Man
Superman.
of Steel?
Yeah, he was playing. He was just turning 20. He was in his 20s.
Cavill looked fucking 40.
Yeah, he looked 40, but he was portraying a 25-year-old man. But that's another conversation for another day. But what I'm trying to say is that in this Superman, I'm like, he's supposed to be seasoned. You say what I liked about it is that they showed the true genius to Lex Luthor. You said that's what I really loved. I loved about the Superman. I really loved that they put a lot of Lex Luthor in there, and they show that all right, Batman's not the only one that can outwit this dude. Lex Luthor could do it just as well as Batman can. But I felt like for a seasoned Superman, he was acting like he was a rookie, like he didn't know what he was doing. It was pissing me off. I was just like, all right. But other than that, everything else was good. Like the aesthetic, it was aesthetically pleasing to watch, and I learned some new things too.
I'm just excited to see where James Gunn is going to take the DCU because the DCU really needed that shit.
Yeah. And I feel like they should have still stood with a little bit of the darkness to it because this Superman movie was super bright. It was like colorful. I like that. I feel like it's trying to they're trying to revive the DC universe, which is fine. I just in the next one when they do if they make another one, they need to show more of Superman's experience where he has intelligence of like not destroying so much shit or allowing so much shit to get destroyed. But if
he's gonna get better with time, bro.
Yeah, that's what I hope because these Marvel movies ain't getting better with time. Nah, just playing. I'm just playing. Thunderbolt was fire.
You know who you sounding like right now? You sounding like Colin right now.
No, I'm just playing. I love Marvel movies. I look forward to them, bro. I had a friend tell me that they move too quick with the movies. I was like, what? I feel
we've been watching these shits for like fucking 16 years.
I know that, and I've been like, I feel like they take too long. You feel me? I feel like it should be every year they come out with the next part or every other year. Like when the last Avengers came out? 2021, right?
Shit. It's been a minute.
As I'm saying, it's like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, about.
You think that they moved Tony Stark to Doomsday because he getting too old to play Tony Stark?
Nah, I don't know. I'd like to think that they
throw a mask on him.
I like to think that they have a plan for him, but
Oh, okay.
Think we need to go back to a really quick, steady, fast commercial break.
I like that last commercial. G. It's good,
I
bro.
don't know what happened to our next guest, our first guest,
Which
but
is
what?
Kaitlyn? You talking about Kaitlyn?
Yes,
Okay. She's having technical
yes.
difficulties still.
I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but we'll go to a commercial break. Just check your email.
Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now.
All right. Wow. We were scheduled to have our first guest join us right now, but as it happens in live shows and in life, plans change.
Okay, you still have the regular screen on, but and we're going to use that change as an opportunity. It gives us more time to move this whole conversation out the movie theater and into your actual house, into your real life apartment.
Exactly. It's one thing to see John Walker's rage as a bursting trash bag on screen. It's another to recognize it in your own hallway. So let's get physical. Let's get practical. Let's talk about what this junk looks like in the real world.
Let's start with that trash bag in the movie. It's a super soldier's moral injury. In real life, it's the anger you feel in traffic. I get that a lot. I ain't gonna lie. It's
Word, me
it,
too.
it- it's snapping at your kids because you had a bad day at work. I'm doing very much better at that. It's the simmering resentment toward a coworker. I don't allow that no more. But that is what we're gonna talk about.
Right. It's the junk that stinks up the immediate area. It affects everyone around you. You might think you're containing it, but that kind of junk always leaks. The question you have to ask yourself is, what's in the bag? Because the rage isn't the real junk. The rage is just the smell. Underneath is usually the fear, disrespect, or powerlessness.
What about Elena's junk? The furniture that looks normal, but it's just hiding the mess that's camouflage.
That's one of the most common ones. That's the person who is always fine. The one whose armor is being busy or being the funny one or being the helper. They fill the empty room with noise, work, projects, doom scrolling on their phone for hours. And I'm fucking very, very guilty of that. Anything to avoid the silence.
Because in the silence, you can hear the echo from the empty rooms, the grief you haven't processed, the loneliness, the feeling of being directionless. You have no direction. The camouflage is heavy, and wearing it all day is exhausting.
So you've identified the junk. You see the trash bag in the hall. You know you're using the furniture to hide the mess. Now what? The most common reaction is paralysis. The mess looks too big. So where do you even start?
You're standing in that doorway again. You know what I'm saying? The doorway of Hoarder's den, and the sheer volume of junk is overwhelming, overstimulating. So you just shut the door, you walk away. We've all done it. We've all done it.
Still do it. All right. And then
Yeah.
shut the junk up. I make this crucial point. Your first job isn't to clean. Your first job is to sort. You can't deal with everything at once, but you can start putting these things into categories. I call it the 3-box method. Imagine you have 3 big cardboard boxes.
Box 1 is the storage box. This is the heavy stuff, the Bucky Barnes junk, the deep trauma, the major grief. You're not trying to throw it out today. You're acknowledging it. You're putting a label on it. This is my relationship with wait. I did what you did.
This is my relationship with my father.
This is my relationship with my father. This is the loss of my job, and you're putting it into a safe, managed storage. Sorry for that.
Containment is a huge win. You're not ignoring it, but you're not letting it sit in the middle of the living room floor anymore. You're respecting your own capacity.
Okay.
You can come back to that box later. Maybe a professional, maybe with a professional when you're ready. And you know who that professional should be? Me. Call me, email me, inbox me, DM me. I have the talking junk plan. The Shut the Junk Up coaching plan ready and raring to go. I am actually looking for 4 candidates to take this free 6-week program valued at over $1,500 a person for free. So DM me, hit me up at talking junk. Excuse me. It's not going to be talking junk. Shut the Junk Up coaching at gmail.com. Hit me up. I know you guys need it. I need it too. Let's work together.
Yeah. Well, on to box number 2. I might have some candidates for you that's going through a few things. So I'll talk to you about that later. Box 2 is the trash box. This is the low-hanging fruit. Yeah? The stuff you can actually get rid of tonight. The small resentment you're holding onto from a comment someone made last week. Throw it out. The negative self-talk that says you're not good enough, bag it up. Put it in the trash. It doesn't belong in your apartment.
Getting rid of the small trash immediately creates space and momentum. You prove to yourself that cleaning is possible. It might just be clearing one corner, but now you have a clear corner. That's a victory.
That's a dub. That's a win. All right. And now we're going on to box 3, the third and final box. Right? The repurpose box. This is the most powerful one. This is the junk that you can transform. It's the pain that can become your purpose. The wound that can become your wisdom.
This is where your story lives. Your struggle with addiction can be repurposed to help someone else who's struggling. Your experience with anxiety can be repurposed to offer empathy to a friend. You take the heaviest junk, the stuff that defined you in the dark, and you bring it into the light to build a bridge for someone else. That's what Yelena did. She sat in the darkness with Bob. She repurposed her own pain into empathy. And that's what we're doing October 10th. Come over, 3 days. Go to acesmatter.org and sign up right now. Do it. Do it. We all need a community, bro. We all need it. So let's do this. Let's open up one box right now. Not the whole storage unit, not even a whole box. Let's just sort one single piece of junk.
One thing. That's it. One thing.
I want everyone listening to think of one small piece of junk that's been cluttering up your mind this week. A minor regret, a moment of embarrassment, an anxious thought that keeps looping. You got it?
Don't pick the heaviest thing you own. Just something you can't hold in your head. That's about it.
Now look at it. Don't
in your
judge.
hand.
Yeah, in your hand.
You didn't see nothing. It
still fit. It's all right. But you got to look at it still. Don't judge it. Just look at it with curiosity. Ask it. What are you trying to protect me from? What are you trying to tell me? Now you get to decide. This is something you need to put in storage for later, or is it something you need to put in the trash now? Or is there a lesson here? Can you repurpose it?
You're in control. You're the one holding the box. You get to decide where it goes.
That simple act of sorting, of making a conscious choice about your junk, is the beginning of everything. You're no longer living in the mess. You're managing the space.
And that's the work. It's not a one night move out. We spoke about this earlier. It's just sorting one thing at a time. Go slow, go steady, and know you're not doing it alone.
As long as you're here and with us for every episode on this new journey, you will never be alone. We are your community. We will be here every single step of the way. Now, going back to these sorting boxes, right? The first box that you mentioned, what was that box? The storage box, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to put the heavy stuff in there. Like we said, the deep traumas, the major griefs, the stuff that you don't acknowledge every day, the stuff that you might have had in your childhood that you want to stuff deep underneath the fucking bed and never, ever let that monster out again. Right?
Yeah.
But put a label on it because you need to come back to those. Because I'll use this as an example. I was talking to my wife earlier. We were talking about a person in our life that I don't particularly talk to anymore. I don't get along with this person anymore. And she says that I need to learn how to let go because it clouds my judgment and it clouds my emotions. And I'm letting her know, trying to, as I'm still getting riled up, because as a professional, semi-professional, author, whatever the fuck you want to call me, a nobody, I'm human, bro. Whatever I am, I'm still learning myself. You don't get it right the first time. Never. And if you do, you're doing it fucking wrong. You're going to always have to come back to something. So I told her, in my book, right, I tell you to do something like this, sort it, but really go to your sacred pause, right? Use that remote. Think about it. What right now in this moment is making me tight about this situation? Why am I fucking pissed off? Why am I so anxious about it? Why am I shaking? And why can I snap at anybody at any moment for just this one topic? What is the underlying thing? And I kept looking at it. And I looked at it on what I felt was the key issue at that moment in time. And it really wasn't that. So I dug a little deeper. And I focused on the comments to what the person referred to as why I don't like them anymore. And I looked at that and it really wasn't that, right? It's not that topic at all. So I get to dig a little deeper. Yeah. And when I dig deeper, I come up with disrespect.
And when that.
Right. When
I was disrespect. When you was talking in my mind, I said, it has to be disrespect.
It has to be.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting to a point where I realize it's not just I'm feeling this way in my body really, really vigorously is the word I want to use. I'm shaking. I'm really irritable. I'm snapping at my wife as we're talking about it. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why. Because I don't want to feel like it's this person making me like that. But is it really? And no, it's not. It's not this one person. It's years of built up disrespect from multiple people. And it gets down to the nitty-gritty where, yes, I can learn how to live and let live. But now you know that I'm a hothead. So you're going to trigger me in other ways. You're going to show up in my life in other ways where I don't want you to show up because I don't even want you in my life.
Yeah. So sometimes you might surface some anger because something happened that is maybe comparable to what that person's disrespect felt like. and that's when you might have those unreasonable snaps throughout the day because there's resentment, but it's not. It has nothing to do. What happens in that day, it has nothing to do with the person. It just resembles it, so you get mad.
Right. And it's not even resentment, because that's what sacred pause is for, right? You want to pause your emotion, pause your mind, pause the conversation. That's the important thing. Pause the conversation. You don't want to keep being angry and snapping at the wrong person. You need to figure out why you're even fucking pissed off to begin with. So once you pause that and you're breaking down the levels and you're walking down those steps of that fucking emotional apartment building, trying to figure out where it started.
Yeah.
When you get to the floor where it started, now you need to look around, because it's not just where you think it started. It's everything there. Everything that's accumulating in that space is not just going to be that one thing that brought up this topic. It's going to be heavier. So it's that it boils down to now it's not even the person that you thought it was. You're not angry at just that person. You're angry at all the people that has ever disrespected you and you let slide.
Yeah. As a collage. These people just come together, boom, and it just creates like this big spirit ball of this anger. And what I wanted to ask you is, when you do this, what was the phrase you say you use? The silent,
the sacred pause.
The sacred pause. Do you cancel out logic and you just go straight into straight silence and just try to, like, basically do a mental diagram little by little, or do you use logic and try to put your feelings on hold so that you can better elaborate your feelings?
Well, it depends on the situation, right? So I was in a conversation with my wife and she brought we're trying to work on a lot, because it doesn't just, when you notice these things, it doesn't just stem in one situation, and it doesn't just create tension in one area of your life. So you have to kind of go through the hurdles as you're going through it. But in this point in time, I was in a conversation and it felt like it was getting heated. So she felt the urge to let me know, listen, we're not enemies right now.
We're not arguing.
Right. You're getting hostile. I can feel you. You need to chill. So in that moment, yes, you have to pause everything. Conversation stops. Everything stops. And it's like, why am I feeling like this? Why? If you need to get up and take a walk, get the fuck up and take a walk. Go get some air, get a drink of water, take a fucking shower. Do what you need to do in that moment to reflect, and then come back to the situation after. You can't just leave it and dead it in that moment. You have to always come back, because now you have clarity.
Yeah, there's always like a residue that just lingers behind. So you had to come at it at an angle where, to me, would probably be logical. Like I go through those things too.
It's the Cheeto dust of life, bro.
Yeah, it's like
in that
I
bag,
feel like it's a residue. It's like a residue, like it's. I think it's hereditary too, bro. I keep it 100 with you. I feel like some of the struggles that your parents went through that you have no recollection of is passed down to you through like a small, like little, like you said, like a little Cheeto dust. Like it's a residue. And you ever been angry and there's no logical explanation for why you're mad? I feel like that is like overdue, like a residue that was just passed to you. And you have to
it could be in the form of old beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Beliefs that don't even pertain to you, but now you've grown up around these beliefs and they're
environmental hazards
to your core. That it's
environmental
hazards, bro. It's bananas.
Yeah. Especially come from two guys that came from concrete jungle. Like, I remember leaving New York and I used to be proud of talking about it. And then the longer I'm away from it, and every time I go back and take a peek, I'm just like, I escaped.
I hate it, bro. I hate it.
I escaped the ignorance, bro. And I feel like that's the environmental hazard as well. And our parents was there for fucking who knows how long, and their parents is just like I think you in a good your projection right now with you're helping people and all that. I think this shit is great, bro. You got
I'm
a good
doing my
angle.
best. You know what I mean? We can't stay. We
You
must.
still and it's good that you're telling people that even though that you're helping other people's with anger, that you show them like, look, I still deal with this shit. It's not, oh, I'm fucking cured and I'm pure
Bro,
and I'm purified. I
this is
love that
exactly
about
why the title of the book is called The Hothead's Guide. Ask
it.
anybody, bro. You
I'm a
grew up.
hothead, boy. Yeah, I
You
know.
know,
Yeah,
hot
yeah,
head, bro. I fucking
yeah,
snap, and
yeah,
it be over the smallest shit.
yeah.
And it's because of the shit in my past. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I got hooked up with the Aces Matter organization. I'm an Aces Matter alumni. I took the training. I know what to do. I know what it is. I know what it looks like. If you have doubts about yourself, and Mach, he's going to do it too. He's going to do it this week. I'm giving Mach some fucking homework. Mach is going to go, and I'm going to go with y'all right now. Right? We're going to go to ACESMATTERS.org. Oops, I put an S in there by mistake. It's Aces Matter, not Aces Matters. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Okay.
Now, if you go here and you go to resources, let's see, where is it? I'm trying to find the tree. There's a tree here for you to take your ACEs test. Right here. If you scroll down, it says take your ACEs survey. So I thought I was sharing the screen the whole time. What the fuck is happening?
You was not. I thought you was trying to do some sort of like you was just gonna come in and go boo.
So when you go on to the website, this is what you're gonna see, right? Yeah. Then you're gonna scroll on down and you're gonna take your ACEs survey.
Okay.
When you go to take your ACEs survey, you are going to end up at this screen here, right? It says know your adverse childhood experiences. And you'll start your quiz, and at the end of it, you'll know your ACEs score. And it has a lot of different questions. Do not feel ashamed to answer these questions because this is totally anonymous. This is for you to know your ACEs score. When you know your ACEs score, you get a little bit more of an understanding of your foundation for that hoarder's apartment we were talking about this whole episode. And those shame rooms, right? Those shame rooms from the Thunderbolts movie. It all pertains to this. This is where your foundation is, right? I've taken it before, but I'm going to put it like I never took it. And I'm going to put my old zip code so y'all don't know where I'm from. 10467.
I don't know where you're from, but I know where you were.
Word. Before your 18th birthday, did you hear a parent or household member being yelled at, screamed at, beat up, cursed at, insulted, or humiliated? Be honest. Yeah. Be honest about everything. It's going to give you your ACEs score, right? It's going to make sure you understand the foundation that we spoke about. We've been speaking about.
Why you got off the question of the illegal drugs, huh?
What are you talking about? I didn't hear that question.
That's so the next question was like, has anybody in your household as a child used illegal drugs in front of you? And I'm like,
because that was definitely in my household. Definitely. But you need to know, and it's good that you said that when I 10467. They may not know where I'm at, but they know where I came from. You need to know where your trauma comes from. And that's the biggest part. Go take your ACEs score. Now, we've talked about leadership in the mind. Now, let's talk leadership in the real world, because our next guest tonight has walked this out in high-pressure arenas, literally. She's gone from banking to economic development to running a men's professional hockey team. She's a speaker, a coach, and she lives alcohol-free. Clarity, energy, impact. Please welcome Toni Will.
Hello.
How you doing tonight, Toni?
I'm
for joining
good. It's good to meet you guys.
The
How's everything,
pleasure
Toni?
is all ours. Mach, you got your questions ready.
Yeah, I got them here.
All right. Well, Toni, your path, to banking, to economics, development, to pro sports, how did that all unfold? And what was the turning point that brought you into hockey?
Well, the short answer is completely on accident is what took me to hockey. But yeah, I spent 13 years in retail banking and cultivated quite the beginning of my career in leadership and in an industry that is known to be, you're working with people's sensitive money topics. Behind healthcare, I would argue it's the second most sensitive topic to work with people. So when you're really cutting your teeth in leadership and leading people in that area, my staff, and it really kind of set the groundwork, set the stage for where I was heading next. I'm a person that gets pretty antsy, and I like to work towards really hard goals. And I was 13 years into my career, and I was ready for a change. And the Chamber of Commerce here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, was moving inside our economic development agency. And they came to me and they said, would you be interested in helping lead these efforts? And I love the idea about being at the helm of something that was supporting small business in the town I was born and raised in, and teaching them new things and advocating on the public policy level, and then connecting and learning and networking. So I said yes. And I loved what I did externally out in the community, but the culture internally was toxic. Leadership wasn't good. So we parted ways a couple years later, and I was kind of just figuring out what was next. I was in my mid-30s. I had 3 kids. I had a husband. I had a mortgage payment, and there was no money tree in my backyard. So I had to figure out what was next. So I actually applied for a job in the Marquee Hotel downtown Kalamazoo to run their high-end fashion boutique because I was kind of interested in fashion. And they told me I was overqualified, and I said, I know. That's okay. They said I'd be bored. I said, that's okay. I don't want to be the face of anything. And they said, we'll come back to you. And I said, okay. And they came back to me 3 weeks later, and they offered me the Kalamazoo Wings job. And I said, the men's hockey team? Because I grew up here and I went to a couple games, but I'm like, they're still around? And they were like, yeah. And I said, well, I don't know shit about hockey. And they said, if you're running the operation at this level of hockey, the GM isn't making decisions about the players. It's all business. It's the background you have. And you love Kalamazoo. You know how to build and run a sales team and a culture. So I took a 35% pay cut because it is pro sports. And while it's sexy, it is not lucrative. But I always believe that if you're passionate about something, the money will follow. And here we are 11 years later, and it's the best job I never knew I wanted. And I made up the money and then some.
Wow.
Okay. And did each industry give you a different skill that you still use today? Or did matter of fact, what did the banking teach you that shows up in sports?
So really, leadership is leadership. So if I'm leading a team and building a culture, I can take what I've done to build the culture because if you've got the right people in the right roles, you can do anything. It doesn't matter if it's banking, it's economic development, or it's pro sports. If your people are taught well, if they're led well, they are going to work really hard. And it doesn't matter the industry. I could have taken it anywhere. And I know that the people I hire are the most important decisions I make. And I want to make sure that they want to stay and work for me for a long time. So my turnover rate is very low in professional hockey. Normally you'll see people every couple years, because you're cutting your teeth at minor league level and they want to go up to the majors. And I totally get that. But my employees stay with me. I have some that have been with me for 10 plus years.
Wow. Now, you're a woman leading in men's professional hockey. Not many people can say that. What barriers have you faced and how did you work through them?
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of barriers. So, there's, I guess I'll say this. Women think differently, or I think differently. And let me give you an example. So, as a female GM, I'm not like passionate about what happens on the ice. The head coach and director of hockey operations, he's my partner in this. He does that. So for me, if I'm driving revenue and getting fans in the building to watch what he's building, then win or lose, we're going to keep trucking along in the front office. So I'm not emotionally attached to what's happening on the ice. I can tell you that the male GMs, they are attached, because I'm not a fan of the sport per se. I'm a fan of business. And so I think that business mind, and that's what's made me successful. Now, when you put me in the boardroom and I'm talking like this, the men are like thinking I've got three heads. And I'm like, no, I mean, like, that's what's made me successful, is I can separate my emotion from the business side of this. And I look at the business differently. So we've done different game themes and promotions that are unique, that have brought a lot of new fans to professional hockey over the last 11 years.
Wow. And that's what you got to do. You got to keep evolving, right?
Oh yeah. Growth mindset, 100%. I mean, one of the things that I do in terms of learning and growing is I read my age every year. So I'm 47 years old. I'm reading 47 books. I'm listening to 47 podcasts. I want to be a deep well for myself, for my coaching clients, because I have separate side businesses, and then for my staff. And so if I'm learning and growing, I'm going to become better and be willing to try new things and experiment in pro sports to continue to bring new fans through our doors.
All right.
Okay. Talking about doors. When a door doesn't open for you, do you kick it down, or do you build a new one where you could probably work with down the hall? Like when there's some sort of issue, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a rebel. I'm a door kicker. I'm building shit. No, I'm kicking it down.
I'm kicking that business down. Okay. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Right. I'm a definite rebel. I call it coloring outside of the lines. I have high courage. I just try to, I believe in myself. A lot of things is I coach a lot of women to help them believe in themselves. And I believe that if I don't know how to do something, I'll figure it out and I'll kick down the door in the meantime. And I don't really care who I piss off. So.
Amen.
Yeah, I like
Amen.
that.
Fuck them all and let God sort them out.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you've got your 6 leadership pillars. Mm-hmm. Walk us through them. How do you shape your culture, your decisions, and your day-to-day?
Yeah. So I did a TED Talk about a year ago on this, and I talked about perceived weaknesses that are actually strengths. And I weaved it around my 6 leadership pillars and 2 sides of my life, which you talked about in the intro. So one was being a minority, leading my gender makes me the minority in pro sports. And then on the personal side of my life, choosing to live alcohol free for the last 5 years. And so I took these leadership pillars that I created to apply them both personally and professionally. So essentially, number one is, if you don't know how to do something, you go to the experts. So whether I'm quitting drinking or I'm running a hockey team, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I go find people who do, and I'm going to learn from them to help teach me. And then I can take the pieces and parts that work for me. And then I move to leadership pillar number 2, which is innovate. So in pro hockey, like, we're in a small town. It's very unusual that there's a professional sports team in Kalamazoo. And so what works in a town like Indianapolis or Cincinnati or Jacksonville doesn't necessarily work in Kalamazoo. So how can I make it work for a community that's smaller, for an arena that doesn't seat as many as some of these other towns? Or with choosing to live alcohol free, at one point I did AA over the years, and I'm like, that's not for me, because it's old 100-year-old framework. I want different thought processes, different methodology, different way of thinking. So I just take pieces and parts of what works and make it my own. Leadership pillar number 3 is make mistakes. I'm really good at that one. That's where, that's where we learn, because mistakes are painful, and it's so much easier to remember our last mistake than our last success. So I think it's important to make mistakes. I celebrate them with my team. I'm like, great, we made a mistake. Now, if we do it again, we're just idiots. But this time, we're like, we learned. So, yeah. Leadership pillar number 4 is ask for forgiveness rather than permission. That just speaks to my rebellion, my door kicking, all that shit. So it's like, think outside the box. If you're, like I talk about it, like letting my peacock feathers take up space. Don't be afraid to try different things. We don't have to go with, we don't need to be a sheep and follow what everyone else is doing. Leadership pillar number 5 speaks to my leadership style, which is macro manage. Nobody likes to be micromanaged. So when I'm working with my staff, it's like, I trust you. It's the 3 most powerful words I say almost every day to them. I trust you. And I trust me. When I stopped drinking, I was like, all right, I can't sit around here worrying about, I can't leave my house and not be around alcohol. It's freaking everywhere. So right. I need to trust me and my ability to stay tied to my core values and my health and wellness. And I'm just not drinking. So I trust them. I trust me. And then leadership pillar number 5 is often overlooked, especially as we get older and older, which is have fun. Like, it doesn't have to be serious all the time. It doesn't have to be all heavy and, middle age, woe is me bullshit. Like, let's have fun. We work in sports entertainment. People are coming there to spend their free time and discretionary dollars with us. We should be having fun while doing it. And I have more fun being sober than I ever did being drunk, even though I thought I did. But no, like Toni Party Time, she had to go away.
Toni Party Time.
That was my nickname my friends gave me, Toni Party Time. And I hated that nickname, but I think it's funny now because she was a mess.
Great.
So, yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
TPT. She was a mess.
TPT.
She was messy. Yeah. She needed to go to retirement. She did. So
I got a question. And when
number 6, did you say pillar number 6? I think you stopped at 5.
I think she did.
I did. Yeah, 6 is have fun. Having fun.
Have fun.
Yeah,
okay.
6 is have fun. Yeah.
5 for some reason.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. So when the pressure's at its highest, which pillar becomes non-negotiable? Give us like a locker room or like a front office moment where the pillar made the difference.
Yeah, let's see. I would say, so last year was because we open in October every year in hockey, and last year was our 50th anniversary season. And so we wanted to kick it off big. Like, only 4 minor league professional sports team have made it to 50 years old in the country. Like, this is a very big deal. So I said, well, how do we make this a big deal? So we decided we were going to set a Guinness World Record, with the Guinness Book coming to Kalamazoo for the most number of waving foam fingers, like the one behind Jason there. And so they were branded. Yeah. And they were light up foam fingers. And talk about pressure. You've got an educator there from the Guinness World Records. It's our 50th anniversary. We're kicking off the season. And it was being announced whether we accomplished it, because we did it during the first intermission. Like, and you had to follow all these rules. I mean, it is no joke. And, and then we need to win the game too, because if we're going to do this, we got to do it right. I mean, we'd get the record whether we won the game or not, but pressure was on because you have to have a certain number of volunteers. Like, it's a whole thing, and we did it. So it was all about the pillar is have fun. Like, that's fun. So I didn't want everyone all stressed out, like, because there was a lot of planning, but you guys, let's enjoy this because it's a big deal. And now that foam finger, here's a fun fact. That foam finger is going into the Guinness World Records first museum they're putting together in London. And that foam finger is going to be in London in the museum.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, you lead high pressure performance team. What have you learned about keeping people motivated and unified under pressure?
It's really about collaboration and teamwork. And I hire people that want the best for the team, that they're not, while they may be individual contributors, like they might be in sales and they're trying to charge toward their sales goals. They care about the people that are working towards their goals too. So they're not selfish. They thrive in a team environment, and that's really important. So we do a lot of different things when hiring to ensure we're getting the right fit. And we do team fit interviews. They don't just interview with me. They interview with my whole team. They got to fit in with this crew. So when the pressure is on, when we're working a 3-game homestand, when we've got thousands of people coming in the door, and then of course there's a snowstorm on top of that, like whatever we're dealing with, that we're there supporting each other, not turning against each other. And my team is we work really well under pressure because we also trust each other.
Biggest key factor.
Mm-hmm.
So on the flip side, what do you do when performance starts to dip, or when chemistry just won't click? How do you reset? And what do you do with
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I've had, a number of people over the years. You get, there are people that have worked on my team that get antsy. Their engagement always isn't on a 10. They're ready to move on. So the idea there is, so I have one-on-one coaching sessions with my team every month. So they get time with me. And it's really for me not being afraid to have those conversations. And like, if someone's ready to move on, I am there to support them. I don't want them to hide that from me. Put me down as a reference. I'd rather have an idea and have a runway of knowing that someone might be ready to move on than creating inner turmoil, disengaging, being quiet, because I can see that stuff a mile away.
Right. And it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody.
Oh, it affects the whole team.
Right.
So I'm just really candid about it and just talk about it. Like, because we have that trust, then, and listen, I've learned over the years, I haven't always got it right, or they haven't always got it right. Like, I had one guy that flat out lied to my face. He worked for me for 6 years. And then I found out that he already accepted another job at a competitor and it was messy, but it wasn't because of me. It was because of him. Right. So understanding the difference too.
Right.
It's not just because I run the organization doesn't mean that it's necessarily me as a leader, because it's a two-way street in a lot of this. So
absolutely.
Really, it goes back to what we're talking about, like building trust so we can have that dialogue and them really knowing I want what's best for their career, and I don't expect them to work there forever, for God's sakes. So I get it.
Right. Now, you mentioned TPT had to go.
Yes,
you live alcohol free now. You've been open about clarity and energy because of that choice. How has alcohol free living shaped your success personally and professionally?
Oh, hands down, the best decision I ever made. By removing this one thing from my life, and I'm oversimplifying it when I say that because it was hard work. It has changed everything for me. I mean, I started my own business to help other people. I started my coaching business. I've coached hundreds of people all over the world to help them reduce or remove substances. That led to me professional development coaching, which then led to me starting a podcast. I do my own podcast. That led to me hosting my own conference. And now my first book is coming out early next year. And so I wouldn't have done any of that shit. Yeah. So, you're an author. Like, none of that stuff would have happened had I kept drinking.
Okay. And sports culture, it can be really like saturated with drinking, right?
Oh yeah.
How do people react when you model something different, and what advice do you give someone considering alcohol-free season in their life?
Yeah. So what's really cool, I'll tell you a little backstory here on this. So I quit drinking. It'll be 5 years on October 12th. Our head coach, he texted me one day about, I don't know, I was 90 or 100 days in. He says, Toni, I think I'm going to quit drinking too. He's 4.5 years sober. Our PR director, broadcaster, he's 11 years sober. Now our assistant coach, he's like 8 months sober. So
here's for that always.
Right, exactly. So this is like, to me, because I chose to speak out loud about it, the first time I posted on social media, I was 80 days, not 8, 80 days. And I was terrified because the stigma is real. If you choose to stop drinking, oh, she must be an alcoholic. Well, I don't subscribe to that. I don't, first off, the CDC does not recognize that term. And I stopped eating meat too. Did that make me a meataholic? I couldn't stop eating meat. No. Yeah, like
that makes total sense. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. So I'm like, oh, screw this shit. I'm going to talk about it. It was a health and wellness decision. Now, did I like my relationship with alcohol? No. But just because I stopped doing something doesn't mean I should hide it. I hope to inspire other people to be proud of their decision to take care of their brain, because alcohol is the only drug, and it is a drug that breaks the blood-brain barrier. And so people talk about the liver, but it is, and yeah, it affects that, but it affects the brain way more. It turns into Swiss cheese. So no, thank you.
Yeah,
And
literal Swiss cheese.
no,
And it creates craters in the brain. Yeah.
yeah, like, so I decided to be outspoken about it, be proud, and hope to encourage other people to try to just reduce the stigma. And I speak about it publicly quite often. I mean, I never thought I'd be on a TED stage talking about it, but I was, because I don't give a shit now, and I don't care what people think anymore. I'm proud. I'm proud of me, and I'm proud of anyone who does this. It's hard.
It is.
Can we see this TED Talk on YouTube?
We will. We will. We'll see it. We're gonna watch.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you've called detours opportunities. Besides your alcoholism, share a detour in your life or career that became a major turning point.
Let's see, a major turning point for me in my career. I would say when I left my Chamber of Commerce job with the Economic Development Agency, I experienced, and I talk about this actually in my book, that I was sexually harassed. And it was tough because like the second day I was hired, I didn't quite understand like how someone could make the leap of faith on me at that point, because I didn't have a background in that work. And he told me on the second day he hired me because he thought we could have fun together. But it wasn't the type of fun we're talking about with my leadership pillar. And
I think I know what kind of fun you're talking about. It
Yeah.
probably has to do with a pillar.
Exactly. And my stomach dropped, and I'm like, what? And so it kind of continued on from there. And fast forward, I mean, so I left, I held on for as long as I could, like a little less than 2 years. But he ended up getting, like, he went to a local university here anyways. And then he got outed because he did it to another woman, and he got fired very publicly. And so I was validated, and not that I needed to be, but I think the pivotal choice was, I don't regret much, but I wish I would have stood up for myself more back then, and not tried to I was so afraid of setting my career on fire, and I didn't do anything wrong. And it ended up working out, but I wish I would have left sooner. But had I left sooner, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have been in pro hockey. And
Right.
so it was.
Everything happens for a reason.
It does. So
Yeah.
it was. I learned a lot from that, and I've become more outspoken for women and just advocate in that space, because we just feel like we're not going to be believed. And so that really kind of changed my perspective on how I handle situations, and how I, in the future, what I'd want to do. And good news is no one's sexually harassed me since. So
And if they do, you don't eat meat no more anyway.
that's right. I'm not a meataholic. That's right.
You're not a meataholic.
That's right.
So, what in that moment? What did in that moment did? I want to phrase this a certain way. What did that moment teach you about yourself? Like, what did you learn about yourself in that moment?
I'm pretty resilient. I think, I've learned that I have grit and I have resilience, but I also have fears. And sometimes and we all do. And so I think sometimes the fear is louder in our head, and it can hold us back. And so I've learned that not to listen to that fear as much, and to just go for it, and whatever it is. So, writing about that in my book, I'm like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to write about it. Or, it's just because I know other people can relate on some level. And so, yeah, I'm pretty resilient, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of me. I'm proud of the work that I've been doing to better myself in general, and not just be complacent.
Right. Right now, you've driven growth through partnerships and fan engagement. What's one strategy other industries should steal from sports about building community?
Yeah, I'm kind of a pro at that for sure, I would say. So one of the biggest, the easy answer is think outside the box, but let me give you an example. So we were the first team ever to dye the ice rainbow. And this was in conjunction with the NHL, which is Hockey is for Everyone. Now, the rainbow is synonymous with LGBTQ+, which that's part of that. But Hockey is for Everyone, it's for everything around diversity, equity, inclusion. I'm a female GM. Our head coach is Black. We've got a veteran on staff. We've got some Black salespeople. We got, people who are gay. We've got everyone. So it's just a representation of just even our staff. And so if that's our staff, well, what's our community? Let's bring everyone in. Let's create new fans. And when we launched that in the 21-22 season, we damn near broke the internet because the ice has actually died. It's not projection ice mapping like the NHL teams do. And it's super polarizing, but we created new fans, and we do this every year, regardless of whatever if people are poo-pooing DEI or not, we're still doing it because hockey is for everyone.
Word. All inclusive.
It is, no matter the race, the gender, the religion, socioeconomic abilities.
Right. Once you're on the ice and you get punched in the face, you bleed the same color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to know that hockey is real white and real male. And so you would go anything outside of that, and boy, oh boy, that's what I'm telling you. I'm not the most popular general manager in hockey. I can tell you that.
So, and tell us about the fans. What's the creative or like an unexpected thing your fans did that changed your approach?
Oh, the fans are tricky. We're talking about a 51-year-old franchise, and you've got some fans that have been there all 51 years. And I appreciate that. But I think it's the younger fan that's coming in that they're just more open-minded. They're, in this level of hockey, 80% of the people walking through our doors are looking for entertainment. The other 20%, those are the diehard fans. So we're really trying to balance both, hold two worlds and straddle them. And it's really difficult. So we find that the fans that haven't been around as long are more open-minded. And so kind of creating some of these game themes and family oriented, but fun. Like we have a Wicked Wings game coming up in November where we're dyeing the ice half pink and half green for Wicked. The movie coming out. So yeah, you kind of train the fans. We don't always dye the ice. We just have normal games too. But yeah, the fans are, you can't please everyone. So
no, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
That's part of it. You just can't please everyone, and that's okay.
Right. Well, let's switch gears for a second, right? Let's try to connect with tonight's theme a little bit. You said I did kind of grittingly showed my book. I too am a new coach myself. I'm trying to specialize in anger, and tonight we were talking about mental apartments. I use that metaphor in my book. I use your mind as a hoarder's apartment, and I use a whole bunch of metaphors in here that pertain to things like intrusive thoughts as swarming pests and things of that nature. But tonight, we use the metaphor more for junk, clutter, rooms we avoid. So leaders, they really carry and possess a whole lot of pressure on their everyday life. How do you keep your own apartment clear so that you can show up fully?
Oh, yeah. I got this right here for you. So what I do every year is it's in my little folder. It's a 1-year vision worksheet. Okay. And I walk my clients through this, but in this 1-year vision worksheet, there's like different areas. So there's it's hard to see, but career, health, family, friends, spiritual, other. And I set out at the end of the year for 2026, I'll do this. And I write out about 3 or 4 goals. They're big goals for the year. Then I break it down and I create a battle board, which sits up here on my wall, and I see it every day, and I'm breaking it down. So if I'll use I work out, working out is important to me for health and wellness. So I want to work. I put 275 workouts this year. So that's 80% of the year I'm working out. So I fill in on this, what days I'm working out. And then I track my workouts. Then I break it down daily, and I have an app on my phone. It's a habit app. And at the end of the day, I hit that and I'm like, okay, habit complete. Now I don't work out every day because I'm not completely crazy. And so I set these goals, I break it down monthly, then I take it to daily, and I get excited about that because once I get done with a goal, like get to my 100th podcast episode was a goal for my podcast, Women in ... this year. I accomplished that, I think, in July. And so that was a big deal, but so I highlighted it off. I track when I'm releasing them and all that. Or so some of these goals I hit. Some of them I won't. Like I wanted to not watch TV for 30 days this whole year, and I thought that'd be easy. No, apparently I will find time to watch damn reality show. So I got to keep working on that one. But I'm always like, I really, it's important for me to have these goals to reach for and break it down. And it's fun. I have fun doing that. And I'm just a better human being for cleaning out my mental closet, and I'm not hoarding stuff. Like I'm checking stuff off and getting it out of my brain.
Perfect. You're using those sorting boxes we were talking about earlier. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So how about this one? And when you have a player or a staff member that's carrying that clutter, how do you balance performance with compassion? And what does support look like in your organization?
Yeah, and I think this is one of the ways that, especially being a woman, this helps me as a leader because research shows women tend to be better leaders because a lot of us are mothers. And I am a mom.
Don't say that too loud. My wife is listening.
I hope. Yeah, is that Jasmine who was emailing me? Yeah, Jasmine, I got you, girl. Yeah, so my kids are 23, 21, and 19, and that's leadership too. It's just in a different way as a mom. And so I have a lot of compassion for where they're at in their life. And I can just take that right on over to my staff. And because I care about them, and that's like, I truly care about these individuals. And so I'm able to bring that piece of me, that nurturing part of me to the conversations. But I can also bring badass Toni too when I need to. Like I can be hard if I need to with my kids or my staff, but oftentimes it doesn't come to that because it really just starts with listening. And sometimes they need me to just listen and that's it. And sometimes they need me to listen and then offer some wisdom if I have it. So I try to meet the person where they are at, regardless if it's my kid or my employee. So I can be there for them and find that balance.
Now, our big message today was that healing happens in communities. You've built communities in sports and in sobriety. What role does community play in your strength and in helping others?
So community is really important because like in the living alcohol free, I talk about this. Community is a silver bullet. There are certain silver bullets, in my opinion, if you're looking to change something in your life. And community is number one of the number ones. And number one is actually talk to someone else about it. But number two is community, because there are so many people that are like-minded that have similar goals. And you can go, because of the world and technology and the way it is now, you can go on anywhere, go on Facebook and find, like, I had one client, and I wrote about this in the book, that there's a runaway husbands group on Facebook. Like their husband's just up and left in the middle of the night. There's a community for that.
Hey, Jason.
So there's communities.
Jason already thought about it.
Hopefully Jasmine won't be in that community because Jason's where he needs to. But yeah, there's communities everywhere.
That's
and
crazy.
You sometimes think you're the only one, but the reality is you're never the only one. Never. There's always someone out there that can say, I get it. And that helps. Like it changes everything. So community is just so vital.
Yeah. How do you think people pay their rent off of feet pics?
Exactly. They got their OnlyFans and their feet.
Yeah, I know somebody does that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
All right. So a quick closer for our listeners. If someone's standing at the doorway of their shame room, afraid to face it, what is your first step advice?
It's that silver bullet I talked about. Talk to someone, anyone. Just tell one person. It could be your spouse or a partner. It could be a clergy person. It could be your best friend. Just say it, because I guarantee you it sounds so much worse up here than when you say it to someone, because we think it's the worst thing ever. And most of the time it's like, No, I've been in a similar position, or I feel like keeping shame in, that is where people really can turn destructive and harm themselves, both physically and
Or
emotionally.
others.
Yeah, or others. Exactly. Talk
Hurt
about
people.
it.
Hurt people.
Yeah, talk about it.
Hurt people. Hurt people.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, Jason, you want to coach people on anger. Guess what? I've been angry too. Like, there are times where I'm like, man, maybe I have anger issues. The fiery Italian comes out in me. Like,
Yeah. That's
it's
the secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
yeah, like I kind of am too. I run off fuck you fuel half the time.
Oh yes, I love fuck you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that is
Yeah.
who
I tend to do that too.
but it's like not the healthiest place to be all the time. Sometimes, yeah. But anyway, so talking and like literally, I just made an example of like, yeah, I'm not proud of being angry sometimes, but I talk about it, and it just is. I'm not the only angry person in the world. So
Definitely not.
And what's the one action they can take tonight? A 5-minute move that proves to themselves they're not alone in that room. What's the one action?
5-minute move. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't want to sound like cheesy or cliche.
Sometimes cliche is true.
I know.
I hate being saying cliche shit too.
I know. I would really think, like, for me, if I was to do, like, when I think about those moments in my life, it was really starting to, like, go into a Google search and find, like, like, Google whatever you're worried about. Like, do I have a drinking problem? Google that shit and see what's out there. Like, there are communities, like, you could start to look and be like, oh, it's not just AA as an example. And I actually talked about that in my TED talk. Like, so it's just really starting the research, finding other experts, and like following the breadcrumbs. But don't be afraid to do that Google search, or to pick up the phone, or to text your friend. Or again, it's just like getting it out of here, getting it out of your head.
Right. Toni, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Your story, your leadership, your resilience. This is exactly what Talking Junk is about.
Awesome. Well, it was great to talk junk with you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate Toni. You've shown us how to clear the junk, lead with purpose, and build something that lasts. And sometimes you got to put that party Toni, you got to put her to sleep forever.
Yeah.
Well, right now, why don't you bring TPT out and let all of these people know just exactly where to find you, where to get your coaching practice, anything that pertains to you.
Yeah, anything Toni Will can be found at toniwill.com, and that's TONI. WILL, and my coaching business, the TEDx, my conference Empower Her 2026, my podcast Women in ... It's all there at toniwill.com.
Amazing. Toni, do not go anywhere. Let us close this out really fast. Again, thank you so much for coming on. It was a great conversation.
Thank you. It was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Now, here's what I want everybody to remember, right? Even superheroes can clean the apartment alone. Even superheroes can't clean the apartment alone. And neither can you. Your mind isn't broken. It's just cluttered. The junk isn't you. It's just the clutter. And the clutter, it can be cleared.
We'll see you next time on Talking Junk. Keep it going. One room at a time. Together now, guys.
And remember, stay tuned every single
Friday.
I want to say every single week, but shit tends to happen, and every 2 weeks seems to be like the fucking time limit that we're on right now. But I'm going to continue to say stay tuned every week. Continue to be here to talk junk with us. So eventually you can learn to shut that junk up. We love ya. Pig. Remember, I will be at the Solution Summit over in Longwood, Florida. Check it out at acesmatter.org. Get the information. I hope to see you there. We love you. Lamb Chops, take it away, baby.
Thank you for tuning in to Talking Junk.